Good evening, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. The first order of business, Diana, can you do a roll call, please?
Your worship, I can confirm that I, Deputy Clerk Diana Wilson, am in attendance in the Township office. For those participating by video conference, please answer present when your name is called. Mayor Manel.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Giguère.
Present.
Councillor Widner.
Present.
Councillor Moore.
Present.
Councillor Cerna.
Present.
Councillor Lewis.
Present.
Councillor Galinsky.
Present.
Chief Administrative Officer Clerk Michelle Casavecchia Summers.
Present.
Director of Public Works Matt Sweetland.
Present.
Director of Development Services Adam Betteridge.
Present.
Director of Finance Arun Mohili.
Present.
Manager of IT Cecil Coxon.
Present.
Manager of Water Wastewater Operations Sam Gustafson.
Present.
Drainage Superintendent Bob Lopez.
Present.
That's everyone.
Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Okay, Mark, go ahead.
Item D2, the Stanley Drain, and item D3, Hipley Drain.
Okay, so noted. The minutes from March the 4th, was there any errors or omissions? Mover for the minutes in, please.
I'll move.
Cerna and who seconded it? Widner?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Councillor Widner.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Cerna.
Yes.
Councillor Lewis.
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère.
Yes.
Mayor Manel.
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Next, we have a minor variance. So I need a mover and second of the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Malahide be called to order at 7:32. And the Mayor Manel will be appointed chairperson of the Committee of Adjustment.
Move it.
Moved by Moore, seconder.
I'll second it.
Cerna, all in favor?
Councillor Widner.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Cerna.
Yes.
Councillor Lewis.
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère.
Yes.
Mayor Manel.
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. The purpose of the hearing is to consider an application for minor variance submitted by David and Jacqueline Fair. Application number D13MV0121, part lot 34, concession 9, Malahide, 53250 College Line. Adam, can you give us an overview of the application, please?
Thank you, Chair Manel and committee members. This minor variance application has been submitted in order to allow for an addition onto the existing shop located on the subject property. For those who may be observing this hearing through the Township's YouTube channel, an aerial photo of the property along with the proposed shop expansion is detailed on page 33 of tonight's council agenda. The proposed enlarged shop will exceed the maximum size allowance as specified in the Township zoning bylaw for such structures, and the expansion is desired in order to allow for further storage and uses associated with the homeowner's contracting business. The area of the shop used for the business also requires a minor variance, as it too exceeds the Township's maximum size allowance in the zoning bylaw for such use as a home occupation. The shop expansion is also desired for the purpose of storing their own RV and other personal items. I've noted the specific relief sought in my planning report to the committee this evening, and as the committee will see in my evaluation of the application, I'm less concerned from a planning perspective with the size of the shop expansion as I am with regards to the property owner's construction business that will be operating under the home occupation provisions of the zoning bylaw. The official plan and zoning bylaw for our township establishes what is considered appropriate with regards to home occupations, being that those uses should be at an appropriate scale and nature in comparison to the primary or main use for the property, in this case being a residential lot in a rural area. Further, the township's official plan through the zoning bylaw intends to focus such employment uses, being those industrial and commercial type uses, to occur in suitably zoned areas where other services and infrastructure exist, and by not creating incompatible land use arrangements. Through information provided by the owner, the construction business is comprised of 15 off-property employees who utilize 6 company trucks. And those employees and company trucks do not attend the site except for infrequent visits to restock tools and equipment, as the owner has an arrangement in place with the Elmer Innovation Center in Elmer, the Elgin Innovation Center in Elmer, where those employees assemble each morning with their respective supervisors and work trucks for the day. So given that arrangement, where very little activity occurs at the home property, and which I've analyzed in more detail in my report, appears to meet the intent of the zoning bylaws home occupation provisions. When the application was submitted, it did not contemplate the home occupation or the details associated with the construction business. So in our zoning bylaw, it establishes and sets the limits for what is appropriate in any given zone. Minor variances through the 4 test analysis, as I've walked through in the report, and as established by the Planning Act, are used to ensure that notwithstanding relief is sought, but that whatever is proposed does indeed remain appropriate. So in instances where a shop is desired that exceeds the bylaw requirement, and in this application, it's by nearly 50%, we need to know why such is needed and ensure that their parameters are in place that maintain the intent and purpose of our official plan and zoning. So as such, and given the arrangement the owner has with the Elgin Innovation Center, I'm recommending that the committee require the owner to enter into a development agreement with the council, which contains 4 requirements. Firstly, for such off-site assembly of employees and work vehicles to continue off-site. Secondly, that attendance to the subject property by employees be minimal. Thirdly, that floor area of the construction use be limited. And lastly, the construction business not detract the overall appearance of the subject property. So I've provided the specific recommended clauses into my report and a draft development agreement is attached. I've discussed this recommendation and this requirement for a development agreement with the property owner, and he is agreeable and supportive of this approach. I've also recommended that the minor variance be subject to a 1-year requirement so that the structure is indeed completed and the agreement executed, all in accordance with the committee's approval this evening. I will end my summary of the application there, but I do note in my report that I make mention of addressing the allowable use defined as a contractor's yard or shop as a home occupation. Such allowance is indeed appropriate, as it is intended to allow independent contractors such as electricians and repair persons, etc., but not a full-on industrial type yard where employees, vehicle fleets, outside storage, and the sorts are to occur. Our zoning bylaw is not technically wrong in my opinion, but it could lead to unintended confusion that such full extent is permitted where in fact it is not. So I'll conclude there and am available for any questions that may arise or for any clarification of my report.
Thank you, Adam. Diana, was there any correspondence received on this application?
Your worship, no comments were received.
Okay. Any questions from council to Adam? Seeing none, mover and seconder, report number DS2112, entitled Minor Variance Application number D13MV0121 of David and Jacqueline Fair and affecting lands described as concession 9, part lots 34 being part lot 2, RP11R 5951 53250 College Line be received, and there are conditions. There's a number of conditions for this application. Mover and seconder for that, please.
Move it.
Moved by Widner.
I'll second it.
Second by Lewis. All in favor?
Councillor Widner?
Yes.
Councillor Moore?
Yes.
Councillor Cerna?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère?
yes,
Mayor Manal?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. And mover and seconder, the Committee of Adjustment of the Township of Malahide be adjourned and council reconvene at 7:40. Mover and seconder.
Jiguère,
Giguère and Moore, all in favor?
Councillor Widner?
Yes.
Councillor Moore?
Yes.
Councillor Cerna?
Yes.
Councillor Lewis?
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère?
yes.
Mayor Manal?
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Next, we have a Stanley Drain. I see John Michael. John Michael, you're doing this one?
Correct.
Go ahead with the report.
Sure. Tonight's meeting is a Section 78 report on the Stanley Drain. So it's an existing municipal drain that was last reconstructed in 1969. And this report came about from numerous requests to the drainage superintendent for a clean out of the existing drain, as there's a lot of standing water in it. Culverts weren't wide enough. And there was a section of the drain that the drainage superintendent couldn't reconstruct because there were changes to the pond along the course of it. So what we're proposing to do tonight is do a Section 78 report. So we're going to propose a clean out from the Catfish Creek, heading east across Springfield Road through lots 21 to 25 and ending up on the west side of Walker Road. So it's all open ditch work. It's about 3,100 meters of open ditch work. There's 5 culverts. A lot of the landowners have asked for larger culverts because of the size of farm equipment these days. The narrower ones installed under the old report just don't cut it. And we have 1 road crossing under Dingle Line. The total value of the work is $240,000.
Wow.
Okay, Diana, was there any comments received?
Your worship, no comments were received.
Any questions from council? Seeing none. Mover and seconder. Engineers report for the Stanley Drain be prepared by Speech Associates and dated February 12, 2021 be accepted. And bylaw number 21-18 being a bylaw to provide for the Stanley Drain works be read a first and second time and provisionally adopted.
I'll move.
Cerna and Lewis, all in favor?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguere,
Yes.
Mayor Manal.
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. And mover and seconder that the quarter revision for the Stanley Drain be scheduled for April 22nd at 7:30.
Move it.
Lewis,
Giguere, I'll second.
Giguere, all in favor?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguere,
Yes.
Mayor Manal.
Yes.
Carried.
And finally, mover and seconder the tenders for the construction of the Stanley Drain be requested for April 15, 2021 at 11 a.m.
Move it.
Moved
I'll
by
second.
Moore, second by Galinsky, all in favor?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky, Deputy Mayor Giguere,
Yes.
Mayor Manal.
Yes.
Carried.
Thank you. Next, we have the Hipley Drain. John Michael, you give a overview of that drain, please.
Sure, no problem. Tonight's meeting is the Hipley Drain. It's a branch of the Hipley Drain. It's a Section 4 petition. So there is a corner right at Ron McNeil Line and Springwater Road, the southeast corner that is serviced right now by a private tile that crosses sort of kitty corner to the county road and then goes into the Hipley dance drain. It's a private tile. There's no plans on that tile. It's a clay tile that was installed a long time ago. And it was noticed that this area was serviced by the tile and it wasn't a municipal drain. So the road authority signed a petition to incorporate or construct a new drain, starting a new branch, starting at the Hipley dance drain and running south along Springwater Road, crossing the county road and servicing that area in the southwest corner. There was also a landowner, Mr. Dick and Patterson. They requested a branch to the drain because they're experiencing flooding problems on their property. So we're installing an entirely closed drain tonight. The main drain is 221 meters. It's 8-inch diameter tile. And then we have a small branch that heads east along the county road to service the petitioning landowner of that lot. Any questions?
Okay, thanks, John Michael. Diana, was there any comments submitted?
Your worship, no comments were received.
Any questions by council? Seeing none. Mover and seconder the engineer's report for the Hipley Dance Drain Branch E as prepared by Speech Associate dated February 8th, 2021 be accepted. The bylaw number 21-19 being bylaw to provide for the Hipley Dance Drain Branch G works be read a first and second time and provisionally adopted.
I'll move it.
Moved by Galinsky. Seconder.
Second it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. And finally, I'll move to the second of the corridor revision for the Hipley Drain Branch E be scheduled for held on April 22nd, 2021 at 7:30.
I'll move it.
Cerna and Lewis, all in favor?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. And finally, the tenders for the construction of the Hipley Dance Drain be requested for April 15th, 2021 at 11 a.m.
Move it.
Moore,
I'll second it.
Galinsky, all in favor?
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Thank you, John Michael, for appearing.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Brent's not here, so Michelle, are you doing the
Yes, Your Worship. I will present the fire activity report for the month of February to council. The council will notice that there are the number of calls are down a little bit from previous years, which is good news. Not entirely sure why that is, but I said it is good news in that regard. And other than that, I think the rest of the report is pretty straightforward, but I'd be pleased to answer any questions that council might have, or if I'm not able to answer them, I can get that information from the chief when he's available.
Thanks, Michelle. Any questions on the emergency service activity? Seeing none, mover and seconder for that report, please.
I'll move it.
Gare and Serta, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Sam, are you there?
Moment here, yes.
Sam,
Can you hear me?
there we go.
Hi.
You got the next report.
Yes. Good evening, Your Worship and members of council. Sorry, I didn't hear I thought you were going to read the recommendation. I apologize.
No, this is just a report on the Malahide water distribution.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Yes. So on an annual basis, as the council are aware, the operating authority, being Aqua, are required to submit to the owner a drinking water quality trends report for the Malahide water distribution system. This report is subsequently reviewed, which is an operational requirement of the Element 20 management review of the drinking water quality management standard. Staff received both the water quality trends report and the management review was conducted at the same time that the report was received. And the minutes from the review are attached for council's information. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about the report.
Thank you, Sam. Questions for Sam on the Malahide water distribution system and drinking water quality? Seeing none. Mover and seconder, report number PW 2113, entitled Malahide Water Distribution System 2020 Drinking Water Quality Trends Report and 2021 Manager Review Minutes be received.
I'll move it.
Widner and Moore, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Next one, Sam, on the Malahide distribution system.
Yes, thank you. Schedule 22 of the Ontario Regulation 17003 under the Safe Drinking Water Act requires that the operating authority prepare and submit a report to council by no later than March 31st of each calendar year. And in addition, the operating authority, being Aqua, is required to complete a Section 11 report under the same Ontario Reg 17003 by February 28th of each calendar year. Both of these reports were completed and sent to the owners in accordance with the regulatory requirements as specified in the reports. The MECP inspection for 2020 found no compliance or exceedance issues with regulatory requirements, and the annual reports that are brought to council are an effective tool to advise council with pertinent information on how the water system performed the previous year. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding those reports.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Questions for Sam on his report? Mover and seconder, report number PW 2116, entitled Malahide Water Distribution System 2020, Section 11, Annual Report, and Schedule 22, Summary Report be received.
I'll move it.
Cerna and
I'll second.
Jaguar, all in favor.
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes,
carried.
thank you. And next, Sam, the Springfield Sewer System.
Yes, thank you. The Springfield Sewer Collection System 2020 Performance Report has been brought to council this evening, and the report outlines basically the description, or sorry, of maintenance activities that were performed within 2020. And as the council will recall, the overall system is approximately 6 kilometers of gravity sewers with that flow to a main sewage pumping station on Springfield Road. From that point, the sewage is pumped to the Ontario Police College sewage pumping station, and then through a force main to the Elmer Lagoons. And so the attached report gives a summary of the overall performance and the average flows and annual flows that were experienced this year. And I will note that the collection system, the total flow through the system this year was 97,311 cubic meters, which is a decrease of just over 6,700 cubic meters from the previous year. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have regarding the report.
Thank you, Sam. Questions for Sam on his report?
Let's have one, I guess.
Go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, through to Sam. I find it interesting the flows decreased this year with COVID. I would think it increased people being home more, but are the municipalities seeing the same thing, do you know, or no?
Through your worship to Councillor Widner, I think a lot of it has to do, there's always a factor of inflow and infiltration, and certainly although the sanitary system's supposed to be a closed system, we do know that groundwater and infiltration is always a factor. I think there was less precipitation or less heavy thaw events that affected the system. I know a few years back when we had heavy flooding just north of Ron McNeil line, kind of to the east of the school, the collection system, some of those manholes can get submerged underwater. And I know in my first few years here, we had some heavy thaw events that were notably different than anything experienced last year. So I can't really say comparatively, each collection system is very different, and it's regarding whether or not it's within an urban structure and more concrete and things like that. They would have different flow characteristics through their system, but overall it's a good sign, and it kind of demonstrates that year over year, you know, you can see increases from one year, and the next you'll see a decrease, but relatively similar flows, which is a good sign that there's not major infiltration. So it's nice to see a reduction. That is for sure.
Sam, does the police college get in? Are they part of that flow?
So there's the flow that I'm reporting is what's billed and invoiced for what from the town of Elmer. So basically what enters the Elmer lagoons, they take the meter reading there and subtract the SCADA meter readings from the Springfield station. And the difference has historically been the OPC quantity or volume that they are billed for. So no, they are billed separately previously, although there's much that will change, I suppose, as we take over ownership of that station. And we do have additional flow metering that was not there before. So at this point, we can meter from Springfield and meter the flows from the OPC, so we don't have to calculate it the same way we have in the past.
Okay, thanks, Sam. Any other questions for Sam on the sewage system? Mover and second, report number PW 21719, entitled Springfield Sewer Collection System 2020, performance report be received.
Move it.
Moved by Moore, seconder.
I'll second it.
Galinsky, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky, Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manal,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt, you're doing the Avon.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, so good evening, Your Worship and Council. I have one report for you this evening relating to the concerns at the intersection of Avon Drive and Putnam Road. These concerns were brought forth by a delegation from Mr. Sebastian D'Souza in October of 2020 on behalf of the residents of the village of Avon relating to speeding throughout the village. A number of concerns and recommendations were presented by the delegate, which included speeding concerns and desire of a four-way stop at the Avon Drive and Putnam Road intersection, desire for sidewalks on village streets, desire for streetlights in the village, and the implementation of a bulk waste collection program. So there are a number of petition forms attached with my report with similar resident concerns that relate to the speeding issues and safety concerns at the intersection. So as council may be aware, there is a long history of concerns at this intersection. However, being the intersection of roads under the respective jurisdictions of Elgin County and Middlesex County, the township is limited in the ability to implement any appropriate traffic devices within these right-of-ways. So there have been a few changes made in the area since 2002, which are noted in my report. However, which can be seen by the petitions, there are still concerns that exist. So there are many different traffic calming measures available, but as mentioned, township staff don't have the ability to undertake an appropriate review of the area since these road segments do fall outside the township jurisdiction. That's all in an effort to recommend a real solution taking into account the actual roadway geometry and traffic data in the area. So understanding that there are real concerns here, staff are recommending that Township Council request Elgin County and Middlesex County councils to investigate speed warrants and potential implementation of traffic calming measures and intersection control devices at the noted intersection. The other concerns brought about by the delegation last October being sidewalks and streetlights would form part of a safety review of the intersection by the respective county teams. And the last request was for the implementation of a bulk pickup program. So as council is aware, the township is bringing in a new waste collection contractor at an increased cost over the prior year's contracts. So township staff did review the cost of implementing a bulk pickup program in 2019, which was projected at that time to be around $55,000 annually. So at this time, staff don't recommend proceeding with the implementation of a bulk pickup program due to the increased costs, and noting that the township does have use of the community recycling facility in St. Thomas for the drop off of large items. Currently, there are no cost implications to proceed with the recommendations contained in this report. I would like to note, however, that there is a possibility of cost sharing needs in the future if the respective counties proceed with reviewing the area and making a recommendation for some traffic calming measures. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Matt. We'll deal with the intersection first. Any questions or comments on the intersection?
Yeah, I have one.
Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, I think you're right on, Matt. I mean, what's our choice? Is a four-way stop, or it's going to be a roundabout, which is not going to happen. I think it's good we have to approach the municipalities. The one comment you had about street lights and sidewalks, will that not be under local improvement if that was to move ahead?
Through you, your worship, that could be an avenue as well, but as I relate it to the petitions that in the delegation that were received, it was more to do with the local safety of that intersection so I related that review together with the intersection. So I think that in this respect, as it related to the petitions, that it would form part of that safety review.
Okay, I thought they wanted sidewalks in front of all the properties to the south there, but I might be mistaken. Thank you.
Any other questions for Matt? Matt does have a recommendation in regard to the intersection. So I mover and seconder for that one, please.
I move it.
Moved by Widner, seconder.
I'll second it.
Serna, all in favor.
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Serna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. There was also another recommendation that township staff take no action at this time with respect to the implementation of a bulk waste collection program for the township. So mover and seconder for that one, please.
Move it.
Moved by Moore, seconder.
Second it.
Lewis, all in favor.
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Serna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Next, we have a site plan agreement. Who's looking after that one? Adam?
Yes, thank you, your worship. This site plan application has been submitted to secure and finalize the on-site development details with respect to the proposed on-farm milk processing facility. Council may recall this proposal. It was considered and passed last year through a site-specific zoning bylaw amendment. The dairy operation is known locally as Misty Glen Creamery, and retail of their dairy products produced on-site will also occur here in this facility. The plans and details have been reviewed by staff, and a draft agreement is before council this evening for execution. There is a special clause that requires the entrance apron from York Line and the one barrier-free parking space to be paved. However, the rest of the parking area will be graveled. And then there's one other special clause too that also speaks to the township's entrance control policy, as one new entrance is proposed for the property. The property owners have reviewed and agreed to the terms of the agreement, and I do understand that they have both signed and are ready to get started with on-site construction soon. So thank you, your worship. I'll end there. I am able to answer any questions council may have.
Thank you, Adam. Any questions for Adam on the site plan agreement? Seeing none, mover and seconder, report number DS 2114 entitled Site Plan Application number D11 SPO1 2021 of Tom and Suzanne Pettit be received. The attached site plan drawing and site plan agreement relating to the property located at South Park Lot 22, Concession 7, being 47060 York Line, Township of Malahide be approved. Bylaw number 21-26 authorizing the mayor and clerk to sign the site plan agreement be approved.
I'll move it.
Moved by Widner, second by Jaguar. All in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Serna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Next, we have reports from committees and outside boards, one from the Long Point and one from Elmer Area Secondary Water System. Any questions or comments on either one of those? Mover and seconder for those to be noted and filed.
I'll move it.
Moved by
Second
Sarah,
it.
second by Lewis. All in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Serna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguere,
Yes.
Mayor Manal,
Yes.
carried.
Next, we have correspondence. There's 13 items on correspondence. Anyone wish to make comment or support? There's no burning issues. Mover and second to receive and file 1 through 13, please.
I'll move it.
Moved by Widner, seconder.
Seconded.
Galinsky, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguere,
Yes.
Mayor Manal,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. And other business, Michelle, are you doing the next one on the GIS?
I can speak briefly to it, Your Worship. I think the communication, and the attached report are pretty self-explanatory, but Malahide staff have been working with county staff for the last number of months to look at implementing what is referred to as an enterprise GIS system. And that would allow for enhanced functionality, a new suite of tools that could be used by both the county as well as the lower tiers. And the county has agreed to host that particular system. And then all of the lower tier municipalities in Elgin County would have the advantage of utilizing that service. We, as council is aware, we have a number of agreements with several of the lower tier municipalities to provide GIS technician services, and those contracts and agreements all remain in effect. So this is not going to affect any of our existing contracts with any of our lower tier municipal partners. What this would allow, by the county taking the lead on a new licensing platform, is we will actually have access to additional functionality and tools in the GIS system, which will benefit not only Malahide, but all of our other partners. And will also, because the cost is going to be borne at the upper tier level, will allow us also to have some small reduction in our licensing fees, because the county has agreed to host this particular new system, and we will, all of the lower tiers will be able to benefit as a result of it. I'd be pleased to attempt to answer any questions, because GIS details are not my forte, but we also have Cecil here at the meeting as well. But I think most of the report is pretty straightforward. The important part I think I want to mention is that none of our partnerships, the way they sit right now, are going to be impacted. They'll actually just be enhanced. Well, there'll be some additional functionality that we'll be able to provide to them.
Thanks, Michelle. Questions for Michelle or even Cecil? Seeing none, mover and second, the correspondence received from Warden Tom Marks, County of Elgin, dated March 1st, 2021, and the accompanying road of the County of Director of Engineering Services, entitled Enterprise Geographic Information System, be received.
I'll move it.
Giguere and Cerna, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguere,
Yes.
Mayor Manal,
Yes,
carried.
thank you. And Michelle, you're doing the next one on the murals?
I can speak briefly to that one as well. Most of the information is contained in the correspondence, again, from the county, but the county is looking for our township's permission, council's permission, to place a cycling themed mural on the north and east walls of the washroom building in Wanacott Park in Port Bruce. As was outlined in the correspondence, the Elgin County Museum recently received a bequest, and they're using that money to fund a series of projects over the next number of years. And one of them is the installation of a series of cycling themed murals on a number of different buildings, the Port Bruce washroom being one of them. There are details contained with the correspondence received from the county. And I think it's important to note that while they're seeking our permission to install that, as the facility is ours, they are also going to be, the county is going to be assuming all of the costs related to that installation, as well as ongoing maintenance and any other types of costs that may be incurred throughout the life of the mural. There are a number of technical things that are outlined in the correspondence. One of the things that Malahide staff were pleased to see was that there was going to be an anti-graffiti coating that would be applied to the finished mural. As in some instances in other communities, there's been some concerns with vandalism of some of these types of installations. And so we're pleased with that. And the county is also going to be responsible for just ongoing maintenance and any preparation that needs to be done to the building in order to facilitate the installation of the mural itself.
Thanks, Michelle. Questions for Michelle? Donnie?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering if before we approve this, if we could verify with the county how we could involve the community. I think it's a great idea personally, but it is right in the middle where we have a very engaged community, and I would hate to just bring a surprise on them. And so I'd like to know what the involvement could look like.
Your worship, through you, that has not been communicated to the Malahide staff. If council is interested in the concept of an installation, if you're generally supportive, then I think we can certainly go back to the county and ask for some more details and suggest to them that that we believe it would be appropriate to have that public consultation process, and then put it back into their hands to be able to move forward. As council is well aware, there's a very active ratepayers group that I'm sure would be more than happy to be able to assist in getting the word out to the community, as well as facilitating that feedback to the county and any suggestions or ideas that they may have that would make it be more acceptable to the community, or even maybe in helping to design some of the mural itself.
Yeah, there may be some artists in the community who want to apply as part of the qualification process. But yeah, perhaps it's a conditional approval.
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, Rick.
Thank you, sir. Through you to the Deputy Mayor. This is a gift, and it comes from the Bushnell estate. So to enhancify a property or to make it better, I don't know what we need to ask the people about. I'm sure that there's not one of them that's going to object, because it is a gift, and it's a very generous gift. And I just think, you know what, rather than trying to consult the people on this, I mean, nobody is going to object to this. So I think we should just go ahead and give our permission to do it. Thank you, sir.
Donnie?
Yeah, thank you, through you, Mr. Mayor. I fully agree. I think this is a wonderful gift. I'm a strong supporter of the arts. I think what I'm commenting on, and I think the community will be supportive, it will be welcome. It's a beautification of two pretty boring walls. But what I'm referring to is communication and surprises. And sometimes even the most wonderful gift, when people feel like they were not informed, they were not part somehow of the decision, then the gift, as wonderful as it is not appreciated. And I think because there are people who live there who will look at this every day, I think for them to be part of this gift and the decision-making process is appropriate. Some people will be looking at this mural every single day. So we need to.
And that's fine. But I'm just going to tell you that anytime that you want to give me a gift, I'm never going to say no, and I will be appreciative of it. Thank you.
I will keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Scott?
Through you, your worship. Yeah, it's a gift being a Ward 4 counselor, and it would not be a gift not communicating with them at all in any way, shape, or form. They are very involved. They have to know what's going on. The whole community, anywhere that we do anything, there has to be community involvement. We cannot make a decision, especially in Ward 4, without a little bit of public input, please.
That's fine.
And I agree with council. I think council's in support of the of the program, I think we can just simply add that the county inform through the ratepayers what's going to be happening down there in the near future. And as you said, Rick, no one's going to object to this, but I think it's just appropriate that we inform them that's going to happen.
I got no problem with that, Mayor. I got no problem with that whatsoever.
Okay, if there's no other questions.
I just had one.
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question maybe through to Michelle. Is this mural going to be painted directly to the brick, or is this going to be put on a panel to be attached to the brick? To me, it'd be a lot, probably nicer to have something attached to the brick. It'd be more durable, and I don't know. And the other things gets wore out, what are you going to have to do? We'll have to sandblast the building. That'll be at our expense. So I'm just curious on the logistics of it.
We haven't got those specifics in terms of the detailed design. The information I had, the preliminary information, was what they were planning to apply it right to the wall itself, to the brick. But I could, like I said, I can seek some additional clarification for council and report back. Those specifications weren't indicated when I spoke with the principal. So, but I can get that information for council. And it may be that they look at, or when they're consulting with the artists themselves, the artists may even, be suggesting that, or their proposal might suggest it on a different surface rather than the brick itself.
Thank you. Just like to know. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mover and seconder of the Malahide Township Council does hereby approve the County of Elgin's request to place a cycling themed mural on the north and east walls of the Port Bruce Public Washroom Building in Wanacott Park in 2021. It being known that such a project will be funded with a bequest from the estate of Donna Vera Evans Bushel. Mover and seconder.
I'll move it.
Moved by Sarna, seconder.
Second.
Lewis, all in favor.
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you.
Your worship, just for clarification, staff will ensure that council's comments with respect to communication and consultation, we'll make sure that that's delivered back to the museum curator who's looking after this project.
Okay, thanks, Michelle.
Good.
Is there any other business?
Yes, I have something, sir.
Go ahead, Rick.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to inform everyone that Catfish Creek just had their annual general meeting last Thursday. And because of the changes to the Conservation Authorities Act through the Ontario government, we had to get an exemption, which allowed me, because of circumstances, to stay on as one more year as chairman of the Catfish Creek Conservation Authority. Our new vice chairman is a woman named Lori Baldwin Sands, and she is the St. Thomas representative. So I just want to let everyone know that I'm one more year, and this is it for me, because for some reason the government said, hey, you can only spend 2 terms as chairman, and I've had my 2 terms. So we had to get an exemption from Jeff Urick's office, extended 1 more year. So I'm 1 more year the chairman of the Catfish Creek Conservation Authority. So that's what I just wanted to let everybody know. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Bylaws. Mover and seconder, bylaw number 21-12, being a bylaw to provide for the drainage work on the J.A. Charlton Drain, be read a third time, finally passed, properly signed and sealed.
Move it.
Mover.
I'll second.
Cerna, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, bylaw number 21-21, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement with Miller Waste System for the provision of curbside waste management collective system, be given a first, second, third reading, properly signed and sealed.
Move it.
Moved by Widner,
Second it.
Second by Lewis. All in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
In regard to that, I did get a call from Kelly Antoinison telling us the number of his employees are moving over to Miller. And he said, unfortunately for them, that's at a higher wage, but they do know the routes and they do know the people. So it should be a seamless transition.
Good news.
That's great.
And another bylaw number 21-22, being a bylaw to amend the parking bylaw, be given a first, second, third reading, properly signed and sealed.
I'll move it.
Second by Galinsky. All in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. The next bylaw is a bylaw number 21-23, being a bylaw to repeal one-way streets in Port Bruce, be given a first, second, third reading, properly signed and sealed.
Move it.
Moved by Lewis, seconder.
I'll second.
Giguère, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Bylaw number 21-24, being a bylaw to incorporate various parcels into the road system, given a first, second, third reading, properly signed and sealed.
I'll move it.
Moved by Lewis.
Yeah.
That was Galinsky. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Galinsky. Moved by Galinsky, second by Lewis.
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Thank you. Yes.
carried.
And last bylaw number 21-26, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of a site plan agreement with Thomas Lewis Pettit and Suzanne Grace Pettit, relating to Part Lot 22, Concession 7, Geographic Township of South Dorchester, municipally known as 47060 York Line, be given a first, second, third reading, properly signed and sealed.
Move it.
Second.
Widner, seconder by Moore. All in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you. Anything else before we move into closed session? So I need a mover and second of the council move into closed session at 8:22. Pursuant to section 239-2 of the Municipal Act 2001 is amended to discuss the following. One, potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality of local boards relating to zoning bylaw infraction of Springfield Road. And two, a personnel matter about identified individual, including municipal or local board employees relating to Malahide Fire Service personnel policies and procedure. And we're going to reverse those. Amy Thompson is with us. So we'll let Amy be here. And then once we're finished that one, then Michelle and whoever staff members can come back to discuss the number one. So mover and seconder for the closed session, please.
I'll move it.
Moved by Cerna, seconder.
Second.
Widner, all in favor?
Councillor Widner,
Yes.
Councillor Moore,
Yes.
Councillor Cerna,
Yes.
Councillor Lewis,
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Giguère,
Yes.
Mayor Manel,
Yes.
carried.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a break first, sir.
The floor is yours, Your Worship.
Thank you. And in regard to our closed session, item number one is staff direction to proceed as council's direction. And item number two, Dominique, you have a suggestion?
do we move one resolution at a time? Or do you move both items?
One is staff direction. It's already been passed, right? We don't need a mover and seconder for that?
No, we don't. We just need the one resolution that Dominique was going to do.
Okay. Okay, so for the matter in closed session, I will move that council authorizes retainer of Pinnacle HR strategy for review related to the Malahide Fire and Emergency Services personnel policies and procedures.
Okay, are you moving that, Dominique?
Yep.
Seconder?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Councillor Widner.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Cerna.
No.
Councillor Lewis.
No.
Councillor Galinsky.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar.
Yes.
Mayor Manal.
No.
Carried.
Thank you. Okay, where are we now? Mover and seconder bylaw number 21-25, being confirmatory bylaw, be given a first, second, third reading, properly signed and sealed.
I'll move it.
Lewis and Cerna, all in favor?
Councillor Widner.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Cerna.
Yes.
Councillor Lewis.
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky.
No.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar.
Yes.
Mayor Manal.
Yes.
Carried.
And finally, council adjourned its meeting at 9:10 to meet again on April 8th, 2021 at 7:30. Galinsky and Widner, all in favor?
Councillor Widner.
Yes.
Councillor Moore.
Yes.
Councillor Cerna.
Yes.
Councillor Lewis.
Yes.
Councillor Galinsky.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jaguar.
Yes.
Mayor Manal.
Yes.
Carried.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Good night. Stay safe.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys. Take care.